Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the public. Welcome to the welcome to the Finance Administration and Personnel Committee meeting, Denby Parish Council, Wednesday, June the 11th, 7:30 in the Barn Green Room. Apologies. Let's start with agenda number 1 on the apologies received. Any particular any other?
Yes,
apologies?
everybody's here.
Everybody's here.
As part of the committee.
I think we should probably make a point that we've asked Harry to leave the meeting. Right?
You can't, because he wasn't called to the meeting. He was incorrectly called to the meeting.
Incorrectly called to the meeting. Okay.
And he has left before the meeting started.
No. Okay. But he was on the members on the agenda. That was why, because his name's on the agenda. So that's why I suggested that we might need to reference the mistake on the agenda. But perhaps his name's on there and it shouldn't have been. That's all I'm saying, Councillor Brown. Yeah. So the fact is that we've asked him to leave. Okay. No other apologies. Right. Excuse me. Declarations of interest. Point 2. Any particular member or officers invited to declare any relevant interest, notwithstanding this item, members could subsequently declare. Councillor Brown.
Councillor Langford Smith is on orders for payment, so with that I have a pecuniary interest.
Okay, thank you. Any other declarations? Well, thank you, Councillor Brown. Item 3, minutes of the previous meeting. To receive and confirm the accuracy of the minutes of the meeting held on the 30th of April 2025, to receive and approve.
We don't have a problem because I'm the only one in the room that was present. So I think we will need to take advice on
Good point.
how that happens.
Yes, look. Yes, because this is the first of the new. Yeah, it's valid point. So in that case, then I'm assuming on that basis that we do not receive and approve the minutes. We'll just wait to put that in hold until we've got guidance accordingly. Correct?
Yep.
Yep. That's something that you can pick up, perhaps with who you pick up, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Councillor Brown.
So it will just be added to the next meeting to approve the 2 dates.
Depending on what feedback that the clerk gets from ALC or whoever you speak to, I guess, yeah. Okay. Item 4, public participation. The meeting will, if required, recess for no more than 15 minutes for questions and comments from the members of the public on matters pertaining to this committee. We have a member of the public. Good evening.
Good evening.
Is there anything that you would like to cover or speak about?
There is, please, Chair. I'd just like to ask a question with regards to the administration of council, specifically with regards to the closing of Kidmore Field, which was undertaken after the necessary works had been done by the groundsman, following the resolution at the Amenities Committee. And I'd just like to understand why that was closed.
Why that was closed. Thank you for your comments. My understanding and recollection, and I'm bound to other councillors. I don't know, so I was going to ask, Councillor Clay.
I'd like to note the member of public's comments and move on.
Okay, that's Kidmore Field noted.
Sorry, I haven't finished.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry, and I hadn't finished
So I actually
the public.
asked a question, I didn't make a comment.
I beg your pardon. I'm sorry.
I asked a question, what action has been taken with regards to the closing of Kidmore Field. I would like to know which councillors were involved in the discussion and at which point the clerk was consulted. Who issued the instruction or order to close the field, and why the head groundsman was not consulted, or was he and at what point? And with regards to financial controls, which obviously is also the remit of this committee, why soil was ordered on a councillor's personal car, because that's against our procurement rules. I believe councillors are at risk of reputational damage if we don't adhere to our administrative policies and financial controls. And you have a similar issue with Summer Party, where council have a resolution. I'm just giving you my whole list of questions, if you're clearly not going to be prepared to answer them now. With Summer Party, council have a resolution to have a stand. I understand that Councillor Clay put out a call for volunteers. Well, being the Ward Council, I would have anticipated having been on that list for call for volunteers, because he advised that he'd asked council. I didn't receive a call for assistance, and I believe Councillor Clay advised that we wouldn't have a parish stand because he had other commitments and wasn't available. And that decision was advised to our coordinator, the Denby Parish Council Pay, to run the event. Councillor Clay, I would like to know who else was involved in that discussion before he made that decision. Who was that discussed with? And was there a 5 councillor motion to rescind the council resolution to have a stand? Thank you. That's my
Okay,
question.
thank you. I don't know whether you're able to catch all of the questions.
It's recorded.
I'll be good to record it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's note the questions, and then to the member of the public, we'll respond in due course to the
So
questions.
the councillors will respond to me, so I can
Yeah,
pass it to the
yeah.
member of the public, yes.
And can those responses please be noted with my questions in the public participation minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Are there any other questions you'd like to? Before we...
No, I'll speak to you offline about my other issue.
Okay. Right. In that case, I suggest we close the public participation. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Item 5, financial. Orders for payment. To consider and approve the orders for payment list form to consider and approve. I think that's what you've got here.
That's what you've got there, and you need to sign
To
each
consider
page.
and
Yeah,
approve.
and you've got to have it voted for though
I'm
first.
just about to make
Yeah.
sure I've got the right pages, that I don't want that one there.
It's just this one here.
So do I, sorry, did you, you've got a couple, so Councillor Carson?
I certainly wasn't going to raise this, however I will, in light of the member of the public's questions. Orders of payment show 2 instances of reimbursement, one including soil, grants, etc. Reimbursement to Mrs. P. Langford Smith. If, as is stated, as we've heard, that is against financial regulations to spend personal money, then we can't approve the orders of payment.
So, sorry, I was just looking for the particular item that the Councillor Carson, sorry, Councillor Brown?
There is agreement from the RFO that Councillor Langford Smith could purchase the plant and the soil. The RFO can be asked about that at a later date.
Sorry, did you say could be asked?
Well,
Is that what
yeah.
you said? Sorry, I didn't hear the last piece, sorry.
The RFO can be asked
Yeah,
about that
yes.
after this meeting.
Right. Yeah. Well, we need to refer back to the RFO.
There is an additional reimbursement
Councillor
for,
Carson?
there is an additional reimbursement for purchase of milk.
I could see
And
plants.
if one looks to previous orders of payment, there are reimbursements of other items.
May I suggest then with anyone's agreement, that I will refer and not sign these on the basis of, beg your pardon, Councillor Brown?
I would recommend that you, if you are minded to, not sign Councillor Langford-Smith's reimbursements,
I was going to
but you do
sign
the
the
rest of them,
Yes,
so everyone else can be paid.
I was going to suggest that, but I wasn't sure if that was I could cut and
We
cut
also
and
do
slice.
need to pay these people,
I
so there's a
understand
lot.
that.
Of, we
So
could have
I will
electricity turned off, all sorts of things in
We
the
don't
building.
want
No.
that. So,
Yeah.
with anyone else's comments before I go forth to sign the orders, except for, sorry,
You need a vote.
I know I was asking for any other comments before I did the vote. That was all. If there's any other feedbacks, no, that was all, Councillor Brown. Okay, so based on that, do I have a show of hands, please, for the prepared to sign, but minus the entries for the entries for Langford Smith? Yes, I think we've got those.
Yeah, they will
Yeah,
be.
Councillor Carson, thank you. Yeah. So, do we have a vote for proceed with the item to sign? Almost all, but there's about 3 or 4. I haven't had a chance to count them, but except for the particular ones, and we pick those up with the
You can
RFO
just
upon the
write it
return.
on there because you'll sign the page opposed and date it opposed to each payment.
I haven't got the vote yet.
So,
So I was just
so
waiting
you
for-
wouldn't sign each one. Is
No.
what I'm saying.
So, do I have a vote that I can do that then, please?
We need a proposal kind of would.
Those in favour?
Yeah, I'm asking for those in favour. Is there a vote? Yes, we've got. I have a Councillor Carson. Was that a hand? Sorry, Councillor Carson. Yeah. Okay, let's do. Those against?
I abstained.
You abstained.
Or I didn't take part in the vote
Because of
I
the declared the interest. No, I noted. Thank you. I will sign now and not sign those specifics on those items for item that one. Just sign and date, correct, John?
Yeah.
I think. Is that one? Not signed. That's that one.
Thank you.
And this one.
No, you don't sign that one.
This is a copy, right?
Yeah, that's your
No,
copy.
just-
Yeah, it's just your copy.
I'm just going to make sure that I run the. Something in there. Okay. Thank you. Okay, number 6, item agenda 6, social media, to consider what content could be added to the council's social media output to discuss and determine actions. Councillor Carson.
My recommendation would be that we don't undertake to put anything on social media because we're pretty stretched at the moment.
To not put anything on, did you say? Forgive me for asking, but perhaps Joe, you may be able to help, or maybe Councillor Brown. But in previous FAMP sessions, what types of topics that were typically blessed or approved in the past for social media? I'm guessing it's things that have either been approved and moved forward, and those sorts of items. Would it have been in the past, or anything different to that, Councillor Brown?
As far as I'm aware from this committee, we've never publicised anything on Facebook.
I guess that might be the case, but I didn't know, so I wanted to clarify, but thank you for clarifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fine.
In that case, I think to Councillor Carson's point, then for the time being, then there's no need to exercise the right to discuss and determine action, and I recommend that the action should be not to put anything on social media relevant to this particular committee meeting.
Therefore, I second Councillor Carson to close it.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a show of hands for the... So 1, 2, 3, yep. So that's
Unanimous.
unanimous, thank you. Thank you very much indeed for that particular item. Councillor Brown, Councillor Carson. Matters for the next agenda. Councillors are asked to inform the parish clerk of any items they would like to add to the next agenda to discuss and determine actions. To discuss and determine. Are there any specifics that any of the councillors would like to raise now? Oh, I thought you just about to put something.
No,
Sorry.
all I was going to say is that it can be, anything can be emailed into the clerk to ask if it to be put on the
Yeah.
agenda.
So on that basis, to discuss and determine action, at this stage there's nothing specifically to raise.
Yeah.
I think that's an agreement, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Item 8, confidential report. To pass a resolution in accordance with the Public Bodies Administration to Meetings Act to exclude the public and press for discussion of a confidential report relating to the following. Okay, so do I... Sorry? Yeah. So, item 8, confidential report to pass a resolution in accordance with the Public Body... Sorry, I missed the Meetings Act 1960 to exclude the public and press for discussion of a confidential report related to